How about the most bet underdogs? Lions, Chiefs, Patriots? What? So that's just because it's a legal market, right? I know most of the country is legal, but when you see a rabid fan base, I mean, why Patriots to win? I guess like the idea that Jacksonville should not be favored by that many points over another NFL team, I think that's valid. We'll probably have the same talking points when it comes to the Rams game that they're favored by 6.5 or 7 over a team. I don't know that anybody's going to bet the Raiders, but Patriots money line. Does that make sense to you, Sam, or no? Is that
I
just
think they've
stupid?
been listening to our show and hearing you say never Jaguars ever. Even though you
Yeah,
say the
I
Jaguars
hate them.
games, I think they're just programmed to remember you saying never Jaguars. They forget that you're talking about the game in its entirety and they rely on the word Jaguars.
I you know I think it's noteworthy, and you've brought that up, and I because when talking about Survivor, you're typically only bringing up Jacksonville when they're a big favorite, and they're a big favorite here. So this is maybe a thing, and if they don't win, Doug is so fired. I don't know if they're going to wait until they come back, but he's got to be fired with everything that Shad Khan was saying in the offseason. But I don't know. I guess it's Drake May, second start. These rookie quarterbacks looking good so far this year, most of them. Not so much with Rattler last night, but he had absolutely nothing to work with. All right, let's keep it moving here. Week 7 card in the NFL here on BetQL Daily. Joe Sammy P with you. Miami Indy. Okay. I'm surprised that I've heard so many people that I respect that are playing this game, and they're playing on the Miami side. And the case that I've heard, Sam, is that, well, you're giving McDaniel a couple of weeks. He's got time to prepare. He's going to be able to scheme something up. That's what I was saying when Tua was first hurt. So that's why I've kind of backed away from that whole narrative because I saw it not work. Now, Tyler Huntley, better than Skylar Thompson. How much better? It's a big debate. Every offensive number for Miami without Tua in the dumps. I mean, they're one of the worst teams in football right now, Miami. That's why they're a 3-point dog here. Now, Indy, Anthony Richardson's making his return. Is that good? I say no, it's not. That they have a better opportunity to win with Joe Flacco. However, the injury report started to look better for Indianapolis on Thursday. Correct. Jonathan Taylor still not practicing. Same thing with wideout Alec Pierce. However, Josh Downs was limited. The center, Ryan Kelly, you know how important that position is. He was limited in practice. Full go with Richardson, the receiver Pittman, and offensive tackle Braden Smith. So starting to look better for the Colts. But yeah, people are taking the Dolphins. Do you have anything on this game? I have a potential prop, but that's it.
I bet +3 on Miami. This line makes absolutely
Okay.
no sense. It makes no sense. Why is it
Why?
only 3? No, I'm just saying, like
What should it?
you would think with how bad Miami's offense has been, and in terms of EPA per play, they are, let's see, 32 out of 32 right now on offense. Why is this line not 4.5? Why is it not 5? Because I do think the bye is going to work wonders for Miami, and they can run the ball against an Indianapolis front that's been very questionable. Joe, there's so much talent on Miami. When you look at Waddle and Hill and OBJ and Achan, they have so many weapons. I think their issue was they lost Tua and just panicked right out of the gate. If any team needed a bye to recalibrate the mojo and figure out a game plan, it was Miami. There's too much going on there for this to stay this sideways on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're going to run it a lot, which will open up play action, open up some big runs for the quarterback, and I'm just willing to buy the dip on Miami. Chernoff was on the show too on my show, and he's all over +3. So that was sort of confirmation bias I needed to hear. He took +3. He's been pretty solid on the show this year. But you're right. There are a lot of sharp people in the space that are on Miami plus the 3. And I think you said it best. Indianapolis, to me, is more efficient and more bettable with Flacco at this point
Uh-huh.
because he's not a
100%.
turnover machine. He doesn't throw the ball to the other team. He gets the ball out quickly. Richardson is a damn roller coaster. Richardson is Guardians Yankees last night. Woo! Up and down and up and down. Not to say the Dolphins have been up that much, but this
No.
line stinks. This is such a fishy line. It tells me Miami's going to win the game outright.
Colts, their defense stinks. So there's that for you too. Just pathetic. Boy, the Dolphins, look, they had 3 opportunities. And I get the thought process of the bye week. I'm not going to be betting on this game either side, but I just don't trust Miami. Like, okay, maybe he comes up with something with a couple of weeks here with Huntley against Richardson. The one thing that I would consider is Richardson, he's plus money for a touchdown. You consider it. Plus 129 I see out there for an anytime touchdown. But the Dolphins, I mean, there are people power ranking them as the worst team in the league. Like that's how bad it has looked lately. That's why
But why
I
is the
just can't
line
get there.
only 3 then? If they're so bad,
Bec-
why is
because
it
the
sitting
Colts aren't
3?
good. Because the Colts aren't very good. And they're missing their best player on offense in Jonathan Taylor. And they're missing a receiver. And you're not sure if the center's going to go. And okay, the offensive tackle, he's good to go now. They also downgraded a little bit. It opened 3.5. So the Richardson downgrade, I'm assuming. We thought he was going to be back last week, and he wasn't. Because I think the organization knows we have a better chance to win. And they did win that game. They barely beat Will Levis. They beat Will Levis by a field goal last week. I think both teams stink. So, yeah, if you're in that sort of a matchup, take the points. I agree with you there. I just will not be doing it. There are too many other games that I'm interested in, like this one. Vikings and the Lions, and Ian Rappaport reporting this hour that Aaron Jones is likely to play for Minnesota. So some good news there. Minnesota last couple days, it's been a 1.5 point favorite, but now we're seeing some move back up. I don't know if that's due to Aaron Jones. I think it certainly could be the case. On the Minnesota side, the home favorite side, they're coming off the bye. And then Hawkinson, he has been limited in practice this week. Very curious to see if he makes his return. Defense for Flores has been phenomenal. On the Lions side, things look good. They're 4-1 on the season. They've won 3 straight games. They beat up on the Cowboys last week, almost had 500 total yards of offense. It was good until the Hutchinson injury. Then the guy that leads the league in sacks is 7.5. He's out. Leads the league in pressures. He's now out. What are they going to do to replace Hutchinson? That's the big question. The really cool matchup within this game is now we have a few years of Goff and the Vikings defense of facing off. And Goff is 6-0 against the spread against the Vikings. And Flores loves to blitz. Goff has been torching the blitz over the last couple games. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 12.1 yards per attempt on the season. My counter to that is, yes, the Lions offense looks great, and they were awesome a season ago. Dallas, Seattle, missing a bunch of starters, Arizona, LA Rams pushed to overtime, and Tampa Bay, they lost to Tampa Bay. Very different defense this time around, Sam. Vikings, huge step up in class for this Lions offense.
You know, at some point in this game, Dan Campbell is going to go for it on 4th and 2 from his own 30. That's what will probably swing this game. As much as I hate to play that card, he's going to do something incredibly stupid that either works out or doesn't. And that is likely going to affect the outcome of the game. Now, we did see, Rappaport saying Aaron Jones likely to play. That's good news for Minnesota. I just don't know that Detroit can run the ball on Minnesota. And I could be way wrong on this. That's my big question mark. Can they run the ball? Because Detroit wants to set up everything through the run. Get Montgomery going, get Gibbs going, and then unleash Goff from there. I don't have that answer. This is a huge, huge game. I'm inclined to think Minnesota can take care of home field, but man, I can make a case for either side. The total, interesting in this one. I I honestly don't have a dollar on the game. The total opened 48.5, got bet up 2 points. It's 51 at a very sharp offshore shop. Darnold and Goff are both MVP candidates right now, which if you told me that 5 years ago, I think you were a crazy person. It's going to be an awesome game. I don't know that I want to bet it.
I know. No, I do. Give me the Vikings.
Okay.
I'll take the Vikings minus 1.5. I would jump on that. Now, some have already moved to 2, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think we're in that
You got plenty
direction.
of 2. You got more 1.5, but you got a handful of 2.
Pinnacle, they went to 2.5. South Point in Vegas, they're out to 2. So yeah, we might be trending in that direction. Like the Detroit injury report, we know the deal. There's nobody that you're really waiting on. It's Hutchinson. Man, that is so interesting too, because it's been pointed out over the week, and it's certainly fair that Hutchinson, he's been awesome. And he was a defensive player of the year favorite. However, if you look within those games, within those situations, he was going against a lot of backups. They just happened to be facing teams that were dealing with injuries on the offensive line. So he ate, and you give him credit for that. So how much is it really going to hurt this defense? I think it's a lot. I think even when he is facing starters, he's terrific. I mean, he was a guy that people were looking at 25, 30 to 1 in the offseason, or maybe around 20, somewhere in that range, as DPOY. And boy, that's a bad beat, man. That's brutal, because he did everything that you were hoping he could do. Off to this awesome start. He's the favorite, and then you end up losing out on that ticket. But yeah, I'll be on Vikings minus 1.5. BetQL Daily, Joe O, Sammy P. Let's go to the Eagles and the Cowboys. Big NFC East matchup, believe it or not. The Giants are they could be in this conversation if everybody is going to end up stinking in the division like the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what people are thinking is going to be the case. Now, this opened at 4. Philly, road divisional favorite, but it's come down to 3 early in the week, and it has not budged ever since. Total between 42, 42.5. That has moved down. The total opened 46.5. Now we're 42, 42.5. So that's pretty interesting. Malik Neighbors, he's going to be making his return. Missed the last 2 games due to the concussion. But now there are some other key players to watch out for on the Giants side. Dexter Lawrence, 7 sacks already. He did not practice on Thursday. Brian Burns did not practice on Thursday. The Eagles also beat up. Not practicing, Jalen Carter, Darius Slay, Dallas Goedert, the left tackle, Jordan Mailata, not practicing. So this injury report that comes out today is going to be vital here. It's taken all week, but if I get the hook, I'll definitely be on the Giants. I'm leaning hard Giants right now. Hurts, not good as a favorite. He's 7-15-1 against the spread. And these Giants receivers, sneakily, very good single coverage. It was Neighbors before he goes out, and then Slayton stepped in, and he was giving you the same sort of production.
Didn't we talk about a Giants and Cardinals teaser? I know that we're going through the 9 now. Well, one book has 3.5. A couple books have 3.5. But from Giants 3 to 9, and then Cardinals 2.5 to 8.5, that's a winner, is it not? With the teaser,
I think so. Think so. Eagles winning by double digits right now.
I don't think so.
On the road,
if they win,
so
which look, I still have faith in Philly, big picture, but this feels like a game that they win. They win by 4, by 6. If they win, it's a close win. So getting it through 7 and 8 to me is a big deal.
Yeah. Are you going to do anything side total props or just teaser?
Where's the Neighbors 2 touchdown look? Where's that at?
Woo! Yeah, that could be a good one. That could be a good one. How's he going to look in his return? You would think
I think
they're
he'll
going
be
to want to
fine.
get him involved.
He'll
Yeah,
be fine.
Did you dream
11
about
to
it?
1.
Did not.
That's the question.
11 to
He's
1. Woo!
11 to 1.